Dr. Zhong. He is both Chinese and clinical Western doctor. So, and then he will particularly share with us how to use the Chinese medicine, Chinese herbals, and even the ideas, the philosophy of Chinese medicine in helping us to build a stronger and better immune system, especially in light of the pandemic, the COVID-19. So if we have a good immune system, we are better able to deal with the virus. So 如果我哋有一個好啲嘅抵抗力咧，亦都能夠咧有好嘅能力去對抗呢一個新冠肺炎。咁除咗鍾醫生之外咧，我哋今日咧亦都好開心，有另一位嘅弟兄就係Henry Chan。Henry Chan 係我哋英文部嘅弟兄，佢本身亦都係一位藥劑師嚟嘅。咁我就即係點講啊，膽粗粗咁邀請佢啦。即係阿 Henry 咧。即係好難邀請嘅，但係佢又好樂意去侍奉。咁啊，佢同我講話有啲 term 嗰啲中藥嘅 term 同英文嗰啲 term 西藥嘅 term 未必一樣。我話唔緊要，嗰啲 term 咧鍾醫師會自己 self translate。你最緊要咧幫我哋翻譯其他嘅英文，同埋間唔中咧整兩個 gag 講兩個笑話就得㗎啦。即係製造下氣氛啦咁樣。咁Henry 你可唔可以露下你個樣啊，俾大家見一見你啊，講兩句嘢先。Yeah, not only Dr. Zhong, we are also so glad to have our dear brother Henry in our church. He is a retired pharmacist, and he helping out to do the interpretation, not interruption. Okay, and then for some of those technical Chinese terms, he will ask Dr. Zhong to translate. And then I also invite him to share some of the good stories or some gags he might have. And last but not least, because Dr. Zhong has some other engagement after 4, so our meeting will soon sharp at 4. And then today's the recording, we will post it online later on. 今日咧嗰個講座因為鍾醫生4點鐘之後要走，咁所以我哋都會準時4點鐘完嘅。咁如果弟兄姊妹朋友有問題，你可以一路喺個 chat room 去打出嚟，或者一路傾嘅時候一路去發問都得。If you have any questions, you could raise it through the chat room, or you could ask it during the time after Dr. Zhong shares his part, and then we can have some Q&A time. So before we start, maybe let's have a word of prayer. 我哋開始之前一齊有一個祈禱。親愛主耶穌，我哋好感謝你，你係創造天地萬物嘅主。你唔單止創造咗西藥，亦都創造咗中藥。呢一切咧都係喺神你自己啲美善嘅恩典底下去創造出嚟。God, you are the one who create everything, not only the Western medicine, but also the Chinese medicine. It's all created by you. You through all this to bless the humanity. So I pray today we will be benefit from this workshop and appreciate your creation better. 為今日嘅講座祈禱，求神你使用鍾醫生，亦都讓我哋咧更加去認識，同埋咧我哋去明白呢個世界有一個創造嘅主，就係主耶穌你自己。你創造一切都係為咗我哋嘅益處，為咗我哋嘅好處。我哋咁嘅禱告係奉耶穌基督得勝嘅名祈求，阿門。
阿門。
好，將時間交俾鍾醫生同埋 Henry。Thank you very much。
請 Henry 同埋鍾醫生咧 unmute 自己先。
好，大家好嚇，中午好係。咁我哋今日嘅講座咧係賴牧師俾我嘅題目就係關於喺呢個疫情當中，我哋點樣用我哋嘅中藥啦一啲知識嚟幫助我哋好好嘅喺呢個疫情當中能夠有一個好好嘅保健作用。講起今次嘅呢個咁嘅疫情咧確實係我哋前所未有，我哋所遇到嘅呢個病毒係我哋過去從來未認識過嘅。所以確實係出咗我哋好多難題嚇。我記得有一個名人啦講過一句話，佢話呢次嘅疫情嘅爆發係一個偉大的糾正偉大的糾正。
鍾醫生，唔好意思打斷你，可唔可以容許啲時間俾Henry 要翻譯你？我諗係一段一段話咁樣翻譯啦。
哦，咁樣OK。
Henry。
COVID pandemic, it's something new to us in the medical field. And my title today is to seek some Chinese medications, and it's herbal medication, so that we can apply it to confront this pandemic event.
點樣叫做偉大的糾正呢？就話糾正我哋人類對自己嘅認識，對大自然嘅認識，糾正我哋喺呢個人生嘅態度裏邊嘅嗰個大嘅改變。
So the first thing we want to face is correction. We need to correct our view of the environment, of nature, and also some of the our beliefs, our common beliefs in human being.
係對我哋自己一個好深刻反省嘅一個機會，反省我哋對天、對地、對大自然、對自己嘅嗰種評價。
We need to look at our surrounding and find out what can we learn from our environment, something that is in the past, and then to confront this pandemic. And this is very important that we have to hold on such an attitude.
糾正我哋嗰度對我哋自己嗰種狂妄、自大呢種咁嘅心態。
We need to understand that a lot of times we are very self-centered. We thought that we have all the answers, so we need to put our attitude aside so that we can accept new ideas.
由於時代嘅發展啊，科學嘅發展，我哋好多時進入一個咁嘅狀態，認為自己乜嘢都可以，我可以為所欲為，我可以做乜嘢都得，我可以登火星、登月球，我哋乜嘢都可以靠自己能夠做得到。
Because of this modernization, often we think that with money, we can solve a lot of problems. We can land on the moon, or we can create new ideas. Hopefully, we can overcome natural disasters.
但係一個小小嘅病毒，使到我哋整個世界當權者措手不及，無可適從，民眾恐慌，整個世界大亂嚇。
This small virus created a lot of confrontation between countries, between rulers, and we are in a very in a mode that we are filled with anxiety and nervous.
所以係適當嘅，係一個非常好嘅時候，係我哋檢討一下自己，反省一下呢個自己嘅問題。
So this is a event that leads us into a self-reflection of some of our beliefs and attitude of life.
好啦，咁講到呢度咧，我哋不能夠不談一談，我哋有5000年歷史嘅中華民族，每對待呢啲咁嘅疫症嘅時候，我哋係點樣嘅睇法呢？點樣嘅態度呢？
Chinese has a 5,000 years of history of medicine, and we want to look back and see how we confront pandemics of the past.
對待呢啲病疫，西醫同中醫嘅唔同嘅地方就在於咩呢？
There's a difference in between the Western world and the Eastern world in confronting pandemics.
西醫嘅角度咧係一種進攻性嘅一個戰略，佢嘅針對係一個病原體、細菌啦、病毒啦，佢就向呢啲致病嘅呢啲敵人啊，採取進攻性嘅戰略。
The Western tactic is to confront and face and try to overcome the pandemic.
但我哋中醫咧，中國人嘅文化傳統，我哋對待呢啲病疫咧，我哋嘅態度一句話就係正氣內存，邪不可干。
Eastern
呢個我自己翻譯一下呢個正氣內存，邪不可干，係我哋中醫嘅防疫治病裏邊一個中心思想。When the healthy energy exists fully inside the body, the evil cannot interrupt. 所謂正氣內存，邪不可干。
So that is the difference in the Western and the Eastern approach, just like Dr. Chong said in English.
總嘅意思就係話咧，如果我哋將自己嘅身體搞得足夠強壯嘅話，我哋無懼於任何嘅致病因素，我哋可以用自己嘅好嘅身體、好嘅免疫系統嚟克服呢啲致病嘅所有嘅病原體。
We can keep our body healthy, and it will become a great protection against pandemics.
所以得勝而不屈人，不用屈人之兵啊！呢個就係中國嘅戰略啊。咁我哋中醫整個基礎咧，就係將我哋自己身體能夠建造得個好強壯嘅一個身體，任何嘅致病因素都唔能夠侵犯我哋嘅身體。
The Eastern medicine approach is to build ourselves up so that we'll build up protection against all sorts of viruses or other attacks.
所以呢個就已經係中醫同西醫嘅一個唔同嘅地方。西醫咧就話，等呢啲侵略者侵入到我哋身體，已經開闢咗戰場啦，我哋先用一種反攻嘅進攻嘅一種姿態嚟進行。而中醫就唔係，我哋要將自己身體搞好，將敵人都未進行，將戰場開到我哋身體嘅時候，我哋依將佢拒於門外。呢個係中醫同西醫嘅一個非常唔同嘅地方。
So prevention, it's what Eastern medicine is all about.
你可以想象下，當你戰場已經嚟到你嘅身體啦，無論你最終勝利者係邊個都好，身體已經遭受咗一個非常殘酷嘅戰役。
So if the war is already in front of us, it's too late to try to confront it. We have to build up our defense ahead of time.
但係如果假如我哋好強壯嘅身體，嗰啲病原體、嗰啲侵略者都未入到我哋國門之內，我哋已經將佢拒於門外。
But if our body is healthy, we can stop the invasion before it enters us.
呢個就係我哋今日要討論，我哋中醫喺呢個疫症當中，我哋所能嘅起嘅作用係乜嘢
？This will be our approach in dealing with what are the ways of prevention that Eastern medication can do.
嗱，在討論呢個問題之前咧，我哋認識呢個病毒。呢個病毒喺生命結構裏邊咧，佢同我哋人體嘅細胞係一樣嘅。
The coronavirus is very similar to our body's makeup.
佢嘅生命體，佢嘅整個生命結構同我哋人體細胞係一樣。
Very similar to our body's cell.
所以嘅話咧，你唔可能或者講非常困難揾到一種藥物，只殺害呢個病毒，而唔傷害我哋嘅人體嘅細胞。
So this is it's not easy to find a medication that will treat totally the virus but not hurting our body.
所以呢個就係我哋今日點解有咁強大嘅科學基礎，我哋仍然找唔到一種只殺滅呢個病毒而唔傷害我哋身體嘅藥物。
So up to now, we still cannot create a medicine that will totally kill the invading virus, but not our own body cells.
所以咁就要談到我哋中醫喺呢個病疫當中，我哋嘅起嘅作用就係要強化我哋自己嘅國防系統，強化我哋身體嘅免疫系統。
So now we're going to talk about the Eastern medicine, the way it is to protect us, to prevent us, so that we can prevent the invasion of the foreign bodies.
呢個就係我哋中醫中藥嘅優勢。
And this is our advantage in treating such pandemic.
我哋整個原則就係扶正嚟驅邪，扶正驅邪啊！喺呢個咁嘅英文裏邊咧，我自己一個咁嘅翻譯啊 ，support the healthy energy and eliminated the evil factor， 輔助我哋嘅正氣，驅邪呢啲達佬吧嚇，驅邪呢個邪啊，扶正驅邪係我哋中醫嘅治療嘅原則。Support the healthy energy and eliminated the evil factor。咁呢個中醫呢個優勢咧，嗱，我就係我哋今日所要討論嘅問題。
Dr. Chung was saying that is the fundamental principle in Eastern medicine to deal with such pandemic treatment.
咁今日喺呢個機會咧，我哋利用呢個機會咧，談一談我哋中藥喺呢個病疫當中，我哋有啲乜嘢武器可以使用啊？
We talk about some of the weapons that we can use in herbal medicine.
當然啦，有好多人咁講嚇，用藥補不如食補嚇，用藥嚟醫治不如用食物嚟調節。
So some people mention rather than taking medication, we should use our food or our nutrition to fight the sickness.
所以牧師叫我今日講喺呢個病疫當中，我哋用有咩湯水嚇？有咩食物可以用嚟加強我哋自己身體，嚟防止呢個病疫嘅傳播嘅。
So today we're going to talk about something that we all like is food and what kind of herbal soup or medicines that we can use during this time of the pandemic.
當然咧，用食物嚟調節當然係非常好，但係我哋喺呢個之前咧，我哋不妨談一談，我哋用藥物中藥裏邊。喺呢個疫症裏邊，我哋有啲咩可以用嘅手段
？Food is always good, but we'll start off with the herbal medicine and see which type. What are some of the examples that we can use for this treatment? 喺呢度咧，我有一個或者有好多人都聽過嚇。我哋中藥嘅方劑裏邊咧，有個方劑叫做玉屏風散嚇，玉屏風嚇。 There is a medication. In the Chinese medicine, it's called 玉屏風散。
玉屏風意思就係咧，我哋話人病咧嘅外因有6淫啊，風寒暑濕燥火嚇 ，wind, cold, heat, and dampness 呢個嚇。mania 風寒暑濕燥火呢個6淫啊，係我哋治病嘅6個因素。
These are the 6 elements that is the cause of sickness.
係，佢哋可以治病嚇。咁呢個玉屏風咧，顧名思義就話喺我哋旁邊擺一個屏風喺度，幫我哋擋住呢6樣治病嘅因素啊。
So what we need to do is to shield off these 6 elements by setting up a screen to protect or a gate to protect it.
頭先講嘅風寒暑濕燥火呢6淫咧，風係百病之長啊，係最致病嘅因素之一。
So the first one is called the wind. The wind element is the number 1. The most dangerous part, the most danger is the wind, the wind element.
The wind will contribute the development of a number of disease. OK， 所以我哋防呢個玉屏風散就係一個咁嘅意思嚇。咁呢個玉屏風散只有3種藥嘅啫。
There are 3 medicines that we can use for treating this.
叫做北芪、防風、白術3樣嘢。呢3樣嘢構成我哋所講嘅傳統嘅玉屏風散嘅主要元素。咁呢個北芪咧，喺我哋中藥裏邊係一個最強嘅補氣嘅藥劑啊，最強嘅補氣。 ，tonify 的氣啊 ，tonify 的氣。咁防風咧，顧名思義啦，係治療呢個風嘅一個最好嘅藥物。白術咧又係一個補氣嘅藥物。呢3種藥嘅構成玉屏風散咧，就係一個我哋傳統用嚟對抗流感、對抗感冒嘅一個好嘅藥方。
These 3 items that we talk about, you go home and ask your grandma. They'll know. They use this for treating flu symptoms or symptom as such.
醫生嗰3種藥有冇英文或者係咁翻譯㗎？
英文就佢冇英文嘅，佢叫拉丁文嘅啫，就唔需要咧。你就係黃芪、防風、白朮，咁就到個藥房，到處藥房都有㗎啦，都有。
白朮、北芪同埋乜嘢？
白術、北芪同埋防風。
防風，我會寫低喺個 chat room 度俾大家。係，
咁咧，佢呢個玉屏風散係我哋今次你唔好睇少呢個感冒、流行感冒嚇。感冒同樣係一種病毒，而且係一種多變嘅病毒。每年嘅流感影響人數不計其數嚇，所以我哋呢個玉屏風散係對付呢個流感嘅過程中，就顯示出佢對病毒嘅嗰種特殊嘅一種治療同埋預防嘅功效。
So from our past experience, we understand that these 3 medications has effect in helping us to shield off the flu symptoms or the flu attack.
所以我哋喺今次嘅疫情過程中咧，我哋組一個方，就以呢個玉屏風散為基礎嚟對抗目前嘅新冠病毒，係非常有效嘅。
So with our past experience and understanding, we use this 玉屏風 to modify it and use it in this COVID pandemic.
喺國內嘅呢次病疫過程裏邊咧，好多嘅醫院用中藥、用西藥結合起嚟，收到一個非常好嘅防疫嘅效果。
So from what we understand in China, the hospitals, they use both the Eastern medicine and the Western medications together to give really good results.
我有一個比較詳細嘅資料，就喺呢次國內嘅防疫工作中，西醫嘅治療組同中醫嘅治療組嘅治療數據係一個非常好嘅説明。
Records that we were able to read from the from the Eastern and from the Western give us a good understanding of such a coordinated treatment plan.
有一個比較典型嘅統計數字就係話咧，361個病例，對照組同埋治療組、中藥組同埋西藥組，佢個報告嘅係俾人非常鼓舞嘅結果就係話咧，中藥治療無一例死亡，而西藥治療組咧有10幾個人死亡，300幾人裏面有10幾個死亡病例。
So in a clinical data gathering out of 361 patients or events, there are no deaths for those who are under the Chinese medication, and there is 15 deaths using only the Western medical treatment. 而且咧，治療嘅時間差唔多縮短有大半嘅時間，即係短比中醫組比西醫組治療嘅時間短一半以上。 And also the time of treatment in the Chinese medication group is about half the time of the Western treatment group.
喺呢個費用方面就差得更遠添，差幾十倍嘅費用。
And of course, the Chinese medication is a lot less expensive than the Western medication.
呢一個咁嘅臨床嘅一種數據嘅統計啊， 當然啦，未曾代表整個治療過程，但係呢啲數據都好令人鼓舞啦嚇。
This type of data is a great encouragement for us.
所以我哋的確，我哋中華民族幾千年嚟，民族嘅不斷嘅繁衍。雖然我哋遇到過好多次嘅病疫嘅疫症，但係我哋整個民族嘅呢個擴展啊，人類嘅發展啊，仲係非常鼓舞嘅嚇。
So these results give us a big encouragement, knowing that our past history of Chinese medicine has, over the years, showed the effectiveness in preventing flu and viral infections.
但係喺呢個當今嘅呢個世界嘅醫療系統裏邊咧，對中醫中藥咧仲係一種偏見嚇，認為不科學嚇，認為不科學，係西醫嘅嗰種進攻性嘅治療咧，目標明確嚇，所以咧大家好有一種偏見，仲唔係好承認中醫嘅喺呢個疫症呢個西醫呢醫療系統裏邊嘅地位啊。
I can only get it that there's throughout the ages, there's always I didn't get I didn't quite get it.
Okay.
My internet is on and off. It's some prejudice that it's against the Asian medicine throughout the ages. There's some prejudice against it.
所以我哋中醫要成為世界醫學嘅一個主流，有佢應有嘅地位，我哋仲有好長嘅路要走咯。
So it still needs some time for the Asian Chinese medicine to be accepted worldwide.
喺藥物嘅治療裏邊咧，我哋好有信心喺呢個疫症嘅治療裏邊。假如喺呢個美國社會裏邊，我哋中藥能夠介入呢個防疫工作咧，一定會有好大嘅貢獻啦。
And I'm sure that if we can start using Chinese medicine in the Western world as a prevention, and that should be a great help to us to fight this pandemic.
所以目前我哋中醫界咧，喺美國中醫界咧。我哋喺度不斷嘅努力去說服有關嘅官員、有關嘅醫療系統，係咪可以接納我哋中藥介入呢個防疫工作
So the U.S. Chinese Medication Association has been trying to convince the government and also convince other insurances to include Chinese medicine as one of the accepted treatment.
但係喺美國目前嘅法律裏邊咧，中藥仲係一個未曾被認為係藥物嘅喎。美國仲未承認中藥，佢只承認中藥係一種補充劑，係一種煲湯嘅料而已。
Currently, herbal medicine is only accepted as a supplement and not as a medication.
所以呢一點咧，我哋仲要做一個好詳細嘅、細緻嘅呢個數據嘅收集工作有說服力嘅一種統計，可讓當局能夠接納中醫介入呢個防疫工作。
So until such data is available, or more clinical trials, Chinese medicine is still something that is in the future to be accepted into the mainline treatment in the U.S.
咁再談談我哋，如果除咗藥物之外咧，我哋喺食療方面，我哋又有咩可以做嘅咧
So besides medicine, what else can we do to improve our health?
我哋講 我哋所有藥療又好，食療又好，我哋嘅目的都係強壯我哋嘅身體，強壯我哋嘅免疫系統。
So our plan is to create prevention through our body's health as a way of preventing and fighting viruses and sickness.
好，咁我哋人嘅內存嘅嗰種正氣喺邊度嚟咧？嗰種精神力量喺邊度嚟咧
？So where is the chi or the energy that we have, and where does it come from?
一個好重要嘅元素咧，就係我哋腸胃系統，我哋嘅消化系統。如果我哋消化系統係強壯嘅，我哋能夠好好地吸收營養，我哋身體就有好正確嘅能源供應嚇。
So one of the main chi comes from our digestive system in our body. So when the digestive system is functioning correctly, then we will have a lot of this chi built up in our body.
係，所以我哋中有句話咧，脾胃啊係後天之本啊，係我哋生落嚟之後，我哋嘅腸胃係所有能源嘅來源啊，後天之本啊。
So we are born with this digestive system in us, but for it to improve or for it to strengthen, it's something that we have to do the rest of our life.
所以我哋必須建立一個強大嘅消化系統。
So our digestive system has to be functioning properly.
所以有一句好有名嘅説話叫做咩呢？有胃氣則生，無胃氣則死。
So
有胃氣，即係話你食得嘢，你就可以活啦；你唔食得嘢，你就要死啦嚇。有胃氣則生，無胃氣則死。
So if you have this chi or energy in your digestive system, you can eat, you can accept food, but if you do not have that in you, you're going to die because you cannot eat or you don't have the appetite to eat.
如果一個人嚇佢食得幾碗大飯啊，老虎都打死一隻，係咪？
You can have a few bowls of rice. I'm sure you have the energy to kill a tiger.
一個人奄奄一息瞓喺床度嚇，假如佢有一日嘅話，哎呀我肚餓啊，我要食嘢啊，有希望啦。
If a person is laying in bed with no energy, as if he's about to die, and all of a sudden he start feeling or have the desire to eat, that means he's improving.
所以我哋要保證我哋嘅腸胃有足夠強健嘅消化系統，能夠吸收相應嘅營養，先能夠建立我哋強壯嘅身體。
So our digestive system is very important, and we need to build it up so that we can eat and we can absorb the nutrition.
嗱，咁樣點樣先至做得到我哋有咁嘅呢個強大嘅消化系統咧？點樣先能夠做得到呢一點咧
How can we do that?
有幾方面要注意喎嚇。一個咧，我哋一日嘅三餐要好正常啊，有規有矩，有時有候。
So the first thing is we need to have 3 meals every day in a very systematic way, and eating it at a fixed time.
第二咧，要有適當嘅運動。
We need appropriate exercise.
第三咧，要有好歡樂、歡愉嘅心情。
And the third one is we need to have a cheerful heart in us.
嗱，大家聽過一句話嚇，思慮傷脾胃啊。思慮即係你憂慮嘅時候會傷你嘅脾胃。
It's a saying that worries it's going to hurt your body's intestine.
好明顯啦嚇，假如你平時最中意食龍蝦，係咪？ 假如你一個好憂傷嘅一個事情發生，好痛心嘅事情發生嘅時候，龍蝦擺喺你面前，你都冇晒胃口啦，思慮傷脾胃。
What it means is, if you really like lobsters, however, when you are depressed, you won't feel like eating a lobster.
咁聯繫到當今嘅情況係乜嘢啊？當今目前嘅形勢咧，就話居家隔離嚇，要大家停喺屋企，唔好出街啊！冇出街，咁產生咩問題咧？依家就係話冇得運動啦。第二咧，長期悶喺屋企嘅心情唔好啦。
So because of our shelter in place during this pandemic time, a lot of times we cannot go out and we don't have enough exercise and we become depressed.
所以當今我可以講，當今嘅目前嘅狀態就係個個都憂鬱症，出街買嘢咧嚇，個個都係恐怖分子。
So now we are all facing the same problem. We are kind of anxious, we are depressed, and whoever goes out, even when we are buying, we are under that type of anxiety.
所以呢啲都係一個好具體嘅問題，影響我哋生命嘅好多問題。
This can lead on to a lot of other problems in our life.
所以呢啲咁嘅事情咧，呢啲咁嘅心理狀態咧，係目前一種常態。
This is a common experience most people are facing.
好，咁呢啲咧，好需要我哋自我嘅調整。
So we need to adjust ourselves.
咁就唔能夠唔談到下我哋關於信仰嘅問題啦，嚇。
With that, we need into our belief, our faith.
係我哋作為基督徒喺呢個咁嘅情況下邊，我哋相信每件事情都有神嘅旨意喺度。
So as Christians, we know that everything comes from God, and then God has a will in all this.
神嘅旨意係乜嘢咧？我哋好難理解下。
A lot of times, it's not easy to understand God's will.
係唔係頭先我所講嘅嗰句話？呢一次疫症係一個偉大嘅糾正咧？
Can I say that this pandemic is a big correction in this century?
係俾我哋一個自己省切、自己醒悟嘅機會咧？
An opportunity for us to reflect.
放下我哋嘅驕傲、為所欲為，尊天尊地、尊敬大自然。
Put down our pride, and we need to go back and understand our nature and to live according to our environment and our nature that we are in.
喺呢度我好常好歡喜唱嗰隻歌就係話，我知道誰掌管明天。好多嘢我哋今天係唔知道咩意思㗎，但係我哋知道一切都喺神嘅掌握當中。
There's a song that I really like. I know who holds the future, and with that we can see that God has a hand in our future, and He knows what we are facing every day.
呢種信心、呢種信仰會帶嚟我哋一個好大嘅解脫啊，好大嘅釋放。
With such a faith, it will give us a big release from our everyday tension and anxieties.
雖然目前嘅疫症令我哋好失望，我哋又唔知道呢種疫症會幾時先能夠結束。
Even though we're still facing the struggle and try to overcome the depression from this pandemic, and we still do not have the answer to the future.
但係如果我哋有咁嘅信心嘅話，我哋喺一個咁困難嘅時刻，我哋仍然要保持樂觀，保持盼望，保持一種信心。
But in spite of our tension that we have, if we can have faith, we can have joy and hope, I'm sure we can overcome this.
呢個係一個方面嚇，呢個就係我哋基督徒喺呢個疫症裏邊，我哋所應該做嘅，就係為神所做見證啊！我哋唔恐慌，我哋唔懼怕，我哋仍然做好我哋自己，我哋用放寬嘅心情嚟將信心擺喺神嘅面前，求神憐憫。
As Christians, we can be a witness to our friends and show that we are not afraid. There's no fear in us because we can trust that God is holding the future.
好，喺除咗呢一方面嘅心情自己嘅調節之外咧，我哋仲有啲建議可以俾大家參考嘅。
There are other things that I'm trying to give it as a suggestion for our daily lives.
有一個比較容易做到嘅一種參考嘅方法係咩咧？
So the first thing I want to talk about is this.
我哋有一個比較簡單嘅藥方，就係兩樣藥，一個叫做山楂，一個叫做木香。
There's a recipe that I want to introduce. It's only two items: sanja, cranberry,
木香
and muk香. Sanja and muk香。
係呢兩樣咧，我哋叫做開胃湯啊！開胃湯就係打開我哋嘅胃啊，能夠使我哋有食慾嘅。
The sanja and muk香, it's to open our stomach, not literally open it, but to give us the appetite for us to eat.
係呢個木香咧，嗱山楂大家都知道啦，嗰啲叫做細佬哥生金積啊，食唔到嘢啊，咁我哋就煲啲山楂水俾佢飲咯，可以幫助佢消化。
Yeah, sanja is something I remember drinking when I was young to give myself an appetite. I've never lost my appetite since then.
係咁個木香係乜嘢咧？木香嗱，聽個字咧就知道佢係一種香味喎嚇。木香啊，木香喺醫書裏邊咁樣講嘅喎，佢係調氣啊、治氣、行氣嘅一個種嘅藥。調理個氣。
Has a special fragrance, and it helps to adjust and help in our appetite as well.
咁嗰個氣係咩嚟咧？氣其實就係我哋嘅 energy 啊。
氣咧就話 energy。
係嗰啲人睇佢死未就話，仲有冇氣啊？仲有冇氣啊？呢個氣就係咁嘅氣，叫元氣啊。
So when we see somebody that's dying, we always say, "仲有冇氣? Does he still have the energy? Is he still breathing?"
咁呢個木香咧係調理呢個氣嘅一個種嘅藥。
So this 木香 helps to regulate the energy in our body.
係，咁裏邊有一個好長嘅、好得意嘅一種描述啊。木香可以咩咧？可以和胃氣、通心氣、降肺氣、疏肝氣、快脾氣、暖腎氣、消積氣、溫寒氣、順逆氣、達表氣、通理氣啊，通成11種氣啊！呢個唔需要太多啦嚇，即係話喺呢個中藥裏邊描述呢個木香嘅功能啊，佢係調理呢個氣嘅一個非常非常重要嘅一個藥啊嚇。咁啊，所以我哋話係可以調理好多種氣啊，調理好多種 energy 啊，有即係五臟六腑啦，胃又得，心又得，肺又得，肝又得，脾又得，腎又得啊。佢可以消三焦嘅滯氣。三焦我哋有上焦、中焦、下焦，就係整個呢個我哋叫三焦啊嘛。所以呢個整個木香咧，佢個功能有咁多，但係總嘅一句話就係佢係調氣嘅一種種藥。
This 木香can regulate the qi in our body, and it have there's 11 different types of qi that can be regulated through the 木香。
係 all the organs we can regulate the qi 所以咧，頭先呢個補組方咧，一個山楂，一個木香啊，可以調理我哋嘅氣，增加我哋嘅食慾啊，可以改善我哋嘅能量嘅供應。
So, Sanja and Mukhan will help us to regulate our qi, and then we will have better appetite and better energy.
好啦，咁其他咧，嗱，我哋仲有推薦嘅咧，喺我哋食療裏邊咧，我好推薦一樣咩咧？就係美國嘅花旗參。
Another item I recommend is the American ginseng.
呢個美國花旗參咧，佢喺嗰個亦都係一種補氣嘅功能啊。咁佢喺呢個參嘅行列裏邊咧，佢係兩種不同嘅參，一種高麗參，一個係美國花旗參啊。
So there's two types of ginseng. One is the Korean one, and the other one is the American ginseng.
呢兩樣人參咧，喺我哋人嘅心目中都係好神奇嘅藥。
These are two of the wonders of Chinese medicine or Asian medicine.
但係咧，嗱高麗參咧，傳統嚟講，中國人好迷信呢個高麗參嚇，認為嗰啲參咧可以叫做死都翻得生嚇，死人都可以翻得生嘅，咁叻嘅嚇。
There's in general, we accepted Korean ginseng as a medication that can raise people from the dead.
但係呢個高麗參咧，佢係一種我哋叫做補陽啊，佢 tonify the young 啊，係補陽嘅藥，就唔係個個適合喎，唔係每個人都啱嘅喎。
But the Korean ginseng is not accepted cannot be accepted by everybody.
所以有一句説話叫做人參殺人啊！呢個人參咧好叻，佢可以救人，但係用得唔好咧，佢可以殺人。
So Korean ginseng can be of treatment. It's a treatment and can also kill people.
係，所以呢個用高麗參咧應該係小心啲，有啲人唔啱用嘅嚇。但係美國花旗參咧，佢係補陰嘅，補陰 tonify the yin 啊，所以佢咧，因為我哋人都係咁㗎，陽上有餘咧就陰上不足啊，我哋總係陰不足嘅，所以補陰嘅藥物咧差唔多個個都啱啦。所以你花旗參係放之四海而皆準，老少咸宜嘅一種非常好嘅保健藥。
So American ginseng is more accepted by people of all ages, and it is the yin part of our body that is regulating.
係，所以呢兩個人參咧，我哋曾經做過一個實驗咧。就係我哋將一組老鼠嚇，10隻老鼠係食高麗參嘅，10隻老鼠就係食花旗參嘅。咁呢兩個老鼠我哋餵養佢10天，咁然後咧我哋做一個叫做疲勞試驗，即係掉佢落水度，游到佢死為止呢咁嘅試驗。
There is a study that involved two sets of mice, two groups of 10 mice. One was fed on Korean ginseng, one fed on American ginseng, and then they were treated by allowing them to swim in a tank of water and see how they survive.
係，咁嗰個餵呢個高麗參呢組嘅老鼠咧，就表現得非常嘅活躍，非常嘅精靈啊！
The Korean group shows a lot of energy during this test.
Very active, very active. 好活躍啊！嗰種老鼠係
very active。
而餵高麗參嗰種咧 ，very silence， very silence， 好安靜，好安靜啊！
The other group, it's a lot silence.
係，咁我哋初嘅印象就覺得，哇，高麗參真係好叻啊，俾人好多嘅能量，嗰啲老鼠仔精力過剩啊，呢度喐下，嗰度喐下啊。而花旗參嗰種咧就好安靜喺度啊。咁睇嚟咧，人嘅印象好似高麗參真係好叻啊，好強壯身體啊。
So initially, the Korean group it shows a lot of activity, and the American ginseng group a lot more passive. It's pacifying. And we thought that the Korean group is doing really good.
係，但係當我哋將呢兩組老鼠掉入一個深水裏邊，好深嘅液嘅水裏邊，讓佢游到佢精疲力盡，至沉落水度死啦。我哋計算佢嘅游泳時間。
So after we let them swim in this tank of water, and we measure how long they were able to survive in this tank of water, we come up with this result.
呢個試驗都係叫做疲勞體能試驗啊。咁個結果咧係令我哋好驚訝嘅喎。花旗參呢組嘅老鼠咧嘅游泳時間，即係游到死為止個時間啊，居然會長過高麗參嗰組嘅1倍時間。
The result shows that the American ginseng group actually lasted twice as long as the Korean group in survival.
咁呢個説明咩問題咧？佢高麗參咧係高麗參係一種興奮型嘅，係一種消耗型嘅一種能量。
The Korean ginseng is a stimulating type of ginseng.
係咁花旗參呢個咧，佢係一種積蓄型嘅合成型嘅能量。
The American ginseng is more reserving the energy.
所以咧呢個結果俾我一個好大嘅啟示，就係話咧，我哋用花旗參咧，佢可以將我哋嘅能量儲存喺身體裏邊，到生死攸關嘅時候，佢就用呢個能量就發揮得非常好啊。
So we can say that the American ginseng allowed us to preserve our energy, and when the times come, then we can exert that out.
咁另一個角度就睇到佢點解會個能量會積蓄得咁好咧？就係佢嘅身體非常強壯，呢個係真正嘅強壯啊。
From that, we understand that the American ginseng can build our body up and give us a true healthy body.
所以作為我哋生活喺美國咧，呢個花旗參係美國嘅一個寶貝啊，一個寶貝啊。
This American ginseng is precious to us.
係，所以我可以推薦俾大家咧，喺日常嘅生活裏邊咧，多用呢個高麗參，可以好多種食法嘅，可以煲湯啦，可以將佢打成粉劑啦，可以做成膠囊啦，可以做成水劑啦，啊，好多種形式可以食呢個花旗參。最簡單就係嗰啲茶包咯啊！依家有好多嘅茶包可以放喺滾水裏邊啊，浸下我哋上班啊、落班喺家庭裏邊都好容易操作嘅。
I recommend people to use Korean ginseng in as a regular daily use, or just ginseng on the whole. Korean, huh?
American.
American ginseng.
I think it was said as Korean, so that's why I want to correct it. It's the American ginseng that we should use every day in our soup or as our tea.
係。咁嗱，講到美國嘅一個寶貝就係美國花旗參啦。咁我哋中藥都有同類嘅喎。中藥嘅同類係咩咧？係田七啊！我哋講嘅三七田七，佢係同花旗參係同一類嘅人參造代。
So 田七 is very similar to the American ginseng. They have a similar effect.
亦都係作為一個加強我哋身體嘅能量，加強我哋身體嘅免疫力嘅一種非常好嘅一種補充。
So it helps us to reserve our energy and helps to build up our immunity.
作為一個食療嚟講咧，佢不失為一個非常好嘅食材啦嚇。
So we can fully use this 田七 in our regular daily diet.
咁關於花旗參咧，就依家就係有唔同嘅地方，就係有啲花旗參咧係人工栽種咧，就用咗好多化肥啊、農藥嘅，所以呢點咧有啲要注意啦。咁我哋認為比較好嘅品種咧，就係許氏人參啦。許氏人參佢喺種植嘅過程中咧，佢係唔用農藥、唔用化肥啊，但係所以佢嘅質量係非常好嘅。呢點係我所要 需要說明一點啦嚇。
There's several types of ginseng, American ginseng, and the Hui's brand, HUI Hui's brand, is something that is widely used and it is organic in nature.
另外一個可以讓大家作為參考嘅呢個補充劑咧，就係呢個市面上所常見嘅靈芝啦嚇，靈芝啊。
Another item I want to mention about is 靈芝。
靈芝咧喺人民嘅心目中咧係一個神仙嘅仙草啊。
靈芝 is usually taken as something that came from heaven.
係，不過咧今天嘅靈芝咧可以人工栽種咧，所以佢嘅價錢就平好多。
Rather than the natural type of 靈芝, there's a lot of farm-raised 靈芝, and the price is a lot lower.
係，咁靈芝有咩作用咧？嗱，通常我哋講靈芝有3種不同嘅保健作用。
There's 3 things 靈芝 can do.
第一就安神，佢會使你一個比較好嘅睡眠。
First thing, it can calm you down, give you a good sleep.
嗱，好嘅睡眠都好重要喎。所以有人講藥補不如食補，食補不如睡補啊嚇。所以我呢個好嘅睡眠咧，亦都係我哋增加身體免疫力嘅一個好必要嘅一個生理過程嚟嘅。
Good sleep is very important. It helps to build up our body's immunity.
呢個係佢第一作用。第二個作用咧，就佢會增加你嘅免疫力啊，增加你嘅免疫力。所謂免疫力咧，就話使我哋身體咧係產生一種叫做干擾素啊。呢個干擾素係目前唯一嘅可以對抗病毒嘅一種藥物。
干擾素係咩
？Interrupt factor maybe.
Interrupting factor in the 靈芝 can help us to build up immunity against the COVID.
第三個比較最顯著嘅作用咧，就係佢嘅補肝作用，保護你嘅肝。
Third is it can nurture your liver.
嗰個肝係咩作用咧？肝其實係一個解毒嘅機構嚟嘅。
The liver is to help to treat our toxin in the body.
係，咁我哋曾經做過一個實驗嘅，非常鼓舞。佢保護呢個肝臟係非常好嘅。
So there's a study that recorded about its work, the work of in our liver, the function, the liver function.
當時我哋做嘅實驗係用一個最強嘅、最毒嘅化學藥品，叫做4氯化碳，去傷害呢個肝。但係如果我哋同時用靈芝嘅提取物俾佢咧，佢可以保護呢個肝不受干擾、不受破壞。所以我哋當時嘅結果令我哋非常驚訝啊，好深印象好深刻。所以我喺一次健康講座裏邊，我就咁樣講嚇。我話：假如你保護好你嘅肝，你就可以百毒不侵。
4氯化碳係咩嘢英文？4氯化碳
係一種化學藥品嚟嘅，化學藥品嚟，即係傷肝最重嘅一種化學藥品。
It's a chemical that it's very detrimental to the liver, and we use that in a study to find out how the 靈芝 will help out in the removing the toxin that is built up by the liver.
所以我就話啦，講座裏邊話，如果你保護好你嘅肝咧，你可以百毒不侵。
You can prevent poison enter into our body by nurturing our liver.
係，所以呢個靈芝咧都係目前當時咧社會上比較容易接受嘅一個產品。
It is something that is well accepted in the general public.
你可以買佢嘅靈芝嘅草本植物嚟煲水飲嚇，亦依家有市面上好多做成靈芝膠囊嘅，啊都係可以採用嘅。
Oh, the 靈芝 also comes in a capsule form, is that?
係好容
That we
易接
can
受啦。
purchase readily.
但係目前咧，靈芝產品好多，好多國家都生產啊。中國有生產，香港生產，加拿大啊、日本都生產好多靈芝嚇。就產品就好多種，但係佢哋嘅區別嘅質量區別喺邊度咧？
So many countries produce or grow the plant of 靈芝, and however, what is the difference between all this?
佢呢個目前咧就唔係採取嗰個靈芝嘅草本嚟提取㗎啦，就用佢上面嗰層花粉嚟提取嘅。咁個花粉咧係個好堅硬嘅、好微細嘅顆粒，一定要破壁，要打破個花粉壁嗰個種子嘅壁，先能夠攞到入邊嘅有效成分。咁所以目前質量嘅差別在於咩咧？就係呢個破壁技術。破壁技術。咁破壁技術咧，基本上目前咧有兩大類啦嚇，一個用激光，一個用微波嚟打爛嗰隻殼。呢個係最常用嘅，但係激光同埋微波喺破呢個壁嘅過程裏邊咧，就會產生一種高熱啊！呢個高熱就會破壞佢嘅成分啦。
When 靈芝 is developed, it is not from the plant, but from the pollen that is on the top of this plant, and the technique to use it is through laser or through microwave, and in producing this the 靈芝, it has a lot of heat and energy resolved. So the technique of producing is very important into distinguishing which type of 靈芝 is better than the other ones.
咁我哋依家我發現有另一個產品咧係許氏靈芝嚇，許氏人參農場同日本靈芝研究所合製嘅一個許氏靈芝，佢嘅破壁技術就唔用微波，唔用激光，而係用冷凍嘅方式，將呢個靈芝孢子放下零下180度嗰度咧，嗰啲孢子就破開啦、裂開啦，咁入邊嘅成分釋放出嚟，佢就冇一個熱嘅過程，所以佢嘅有效成分保存都係最好嘅。
So there's a product that is developed by Japan and the Huis together, and instead of using the laser or microwave technique to break the pollen out, it is through freezing, and it has a very good result in developing from the pollens.
所以佢嘅質量保存係最好嘅嚇。所以大家喺購買呢個靈芝產品嘅時候咧，可以參考下呢個數據嚇，參考呢個數據。
We can keep an eye on this development because they come the quality is the best by using this freezing technique.
鍾醫生可唔可以問兩個問題關於靈芝？
可以。
第一個問題咧就係靈芝如果有一個人係食緊一啲叫做稀血嘅藥，可唔可以同時食靈芝咧？應該可以，佢同呢個血液嘅稀釋冇衝突嘅，冇衝突。Okay, translation.
There's a question here. Is it acceptable to take 靈芝 when a person is on anticoagulant? And the answer from Dr. Chung is no, there is no conflict, and it can be taken. 另一個關於靈芝嘅問題就係乜嘢人係咪都係可以食靈芝咧？同埋有個六角靈芝會唔會更加好咧？太子牌好唔好咧？
嗱，咁樣。
Question here is there's a 六角there's a type hexagon of 靈芝. Is that better or by the Prince of Peace brand? Is that acceptable?
嗱，呢個問題咧，我就冇專門好大嘅研究個六角靈芝，係最近喺呢個電視上先睇到嘅啫啊。咁咧，我都話啦，靈芝佢話佢嘅六角靈芝所含嘅有效成分咧，係普通靈芝嘅10倍啊。呢樣嘢咧，我就表示懷疑嚇。喺宣傳上 吹大牛係冇乜犯罪嘅，嗰啲嘢冇所講嘅，佢冇乜數據支持嘅。不過只不過係佢嘅形狀啦比較古怪啲，產品比較少啲，所以咧就再加上宣傳方面係渲染一下啦。咁就呢點我就冇咩好大嘅特別去細細去研究。我估計唔應該有咩太大嘅差別。咁問題我頭先講啦，呢個靈芝產品嘅關鍵嘅質量保證喺邊度咧？好似呢個汪明荃賣廣告嗰種啦，靈芝丹啦，我只信任靈芝丹係咪？咁個靈芝丹佢破壁技術佢就唔係冷凍啦，佢就用激光嘅，用激光咧佢就會產生個高熱，高熱就破壞佢嘅成分喺度啦。呢點係其一。第二咧，靈芝丹裏邊佢講佢有4樣成分，有冬蟲草，有靈芝多糖，有蜂膠，有呢個乜乜乜4樣嘢好似樣樣都巨到喎，咁咪好似萬金油咁咯。你個粒膠囊仔放咁多樣嘢，能夠突出邊樣作用啊？所以我表示懷疑。再加上呢個價錢好貴，價錢好貴。所以咧，我就反向偏於頭先我所講嘅許氏靈芝，佢用冷凍破壁，佢嘅質量係保存得最好嘅。呢個靈芝咧，基本上我可以講係個年齡嘅階段嘅人，男女老少都啱，都啱。特別我頭先好睇中佢嘅就係佢保護你嘅肝臟嘅作用。
靈芝 can be taken by people of all ages, and its advantage is that it protects the liver.
好啦，嗱，我哋今日咧時間係差唔多咯喎，我哋就按呢個按今日係。
Sorry， 有幾個問題啊，得唔得問啊？
得，我即係話我想總結下，我先講，然後總結。
好啊，咁不如你總結先，然後再問啦。
係啦，好啦嗱，咁咧今日嘅課題咧，牧師嘅交代咧就話喺呢個病疫裏邊，我哋能夠有啲做啲乜嘢？中醫呢方面嘅我哋可以做啲咩東西咧？喺藥物方面點選擇咧？喺飲食方面我哋點協助咧？點培養一啲我哋好嘅身體嘅免疫系統咧？咁頭先略談過一下，當然時間唔係好多啦。如果有興趣嘅話，以後我哋繼續談好多嘢可以傾嘅。咁但係總嘅一句嚟講咧，我哋中醫呢個戰略係最啱嘅。我哋係強壯自己，叫做正氣內存啊，邪不可干啊！呢點呢個觀點我係非常非常讚賞嘅嚇。戰場唔好打到我身體嚟，我哋將病疫防止喺我哋身體以外嘅地方啊。咁我哋不戰得勝而不唔需要戰爭啊！呢個係非常好嘅一種概念啊。咁我哋點樣先能夠保護我哋自己嘅免疫系統咧？正常嘅生活狀態，正常嘅3餐，正常嘅呢個運動嚇，正常嘅心理狀態啊。所以聖經話喜樂係最好嘅良藥，係千真萬確嘅事情，千真萬確嘅事情。咁點先有喜樂啊？睇見咁多不好嘅消息，每天蓋鋪啲報紙上講嘅，電台上嘅就天就嚟冧啦，人類就嚟玩完啦。大家都處於一種恐懼當中，呢點其實本身就傷害我哋嘅免疫系統。所以我點解強調個信仰係咁重要咧？我哋有咁嘅好嘅信仰，我哋相信神嘅旨意喺其中，我叫做默言不語啊！我哋好好地做好自己，我哋正常嘅由於呢個盼望使我哋有個正常嘅生活狀態，我哋3餐食得好，瞓得好，我哋有適當嘅運動，我哋有好嘅盼望。我哋嘅自然系統，我哋嘅生命，我哋嘅防疫系統就相當健全㗎啦。海陸空3根喺度處於一種最佳嘅狀態下邊。你有咩疫症啊？有咩病毒可以侵入我哋嘅？所以呢點我係好願意同大家分享呢個問題，就係信仰係一個無窮嘅力量無窮嘅力量係使我哋保持我哋好嘅身體狀況嘅一個非常必要嘅一種思想狀態，係咪？好啦，咁我哋餘下嘅時間咧，就歡迎大家提問題啦，睇我哋能夠有啲咩可以同大家討論㗎啦。
Henry, can you interpret the conclusion, the summary?
Conclusion is prevention.
Okay.
Have a healthy body, eat 3 meals regularly, exercise, and have a happy spirit. And we can find that by knowing that God is with us and He is going to take us through this pandemic.
唔該晒 Henry。咁有個問題就係話，可唔可以單獨咧用木香煲呢個熱水嚟飲咧？
淨係木香當然可以啦，但係配以山楂就更好，係一個非常成熟嘅一個藥方。
You can use木香 and 山楂 together as a drink。木香咧個味道就唔係太受歡迎嘅，但係佢配以啲山楂咧，可能味道就比較好啲，比較好。咁當然啦，呢樣嘢咧係對於邊種人咧，即係有啲人冇乜食慾啊，呢個飲食唔提得起勁嚟啊，咁嘅情況下邊，我可以通下氣。頭先佢話通心氣、通肺氣、通肝氣、通脾氣嚇，咁啊比較好嘅一種調理腸胃嘅鬱滯啊。咁如果我哋比較正常嘅，我頭先講，我哋又喜樂，又有運動，又瞓得好，食慾又唔錯，咁嘅情況下邊，我哋就未必使用呢個方法啊。
OK， so before
可唔可以問問題啊？
等先嚇，我呢度有幾個問題，我問完呢度，大家就可以提問，好唔好啊？第二個問題就係話，使用山楂同木香嘅時候有咩禁忌？同埋咧木香、山楂各人嘅份量，即係人點樣去安排個份量咧？
份量咧就木香and 山楂。
山楂同木香嘅比例基本上係2:1，兩份山楂就1份木香。
2 to 1
個量咧，我哋一般常用量咧都係5-6錢到啦，咁上下就得噶啦，唔需要太大量嘅。
係咪一個人嘅份量啊？5-6錢。
一個人嘅份量。
哦，就2份山楂，1份木香。
係。
OK， 咁另一個問題咧就係玉屏風散係咪可以作為一個平時保健身體嘅一個藥方咧？
當然係啦，呢個玉屏風散有一啲人咧好容易感冒嘅，過得十零20日咧又嚟一次，10零20日又嚟一次，真係有咁嘅人喎。咁嘅情況下邊咧，我哋用玉屏風散調理下身體咧，調理佢2-3個月咧，佢真係唔感冒噶啦，真係唔感冒嘅。所以當然啦，我哋平時如果係一切都正常，好似我咁咧，我就冇乜好誇口喎。我其他我唔敢講啊，我就好少感冒嘅。我見咁多病人，佢哋個個流鼻涕、打乞嗤、發燒，我都唔感冒。咁或者我身體裏邊喺呢個即係抵抗呢個流感病毒方面咧，我係有好強嘅儲備喺度。但係有啲人就唔係真係，我睇2個禮拜又發燒一次，我都發到有喉嚨痛一次㗎啦。咁我哋用玉屏風散係真可以調整得非常好嘅。所以就如果你係平時都身體都幾強壯啦嚇，各方面頭先講又食得又瞓得又做得運動樣樣都得咧，咁就唔一定要用佢啊。喺某啲比較虛弱嘅容易感冒嘅人裏邊，我哋係可以用。
咁想問下，用山楂同木香有咩禁忌啊？
冇咩禁忌，冇咩禁忌。但係山楂唯一咧，有啲人個胃酸多食山楂咧，好似覺得酸多咧，就對個胃唔係好舒服咁嘅，係有咁嘅現象。如果有咁嘅現象咧，我哋就唔用佢咯，或者用少啲咯。
點樣可以煮田七啊？做湯啊？
田七以前好多田七係一粒粒嗰啲嘛，一粒粒嗰啲根嘛，咁嗰啲咧就要煲得比較耐啲嘅，要煲得1個零鐘頭咁樣啦。咁依家好多將個田七切成一片片嘅，咁就好快啦，能夠煲。有啲人就咁浸滾水飲，上班幾片田七放落去，咁揾杯滾水浸住咧，飲嗰啲水，之後食埋嗰啲田七佢。咁依家田七仲有好多製劑㗎，可以做成田七粉。田七粉咧，我哋就主張咧，就每日咧2茶匙，嗰啲咖啡嗰啲茶匙啊，嗰啲塑料茶匙仔啊，1茶匙咧就2克，咁我哋一日4克就差唔多噶啦。早上1茶匙，晚黑1茶匙。咁佢有田七裏邊佢有除咗補氣啦，佢可以生血，可以行血，可以活血可以呢個仲可以攝血。攝血之後有啲出血嘅症狀咧。比如講胃出血流鼻血痔瘡出血呢個月經多佢都可以逐住啲血啦。所以田七係一個非常好嘅藥，我哋叫做俾佢一個名叫咩咧？叫做雙向調節。雙向調節，即係你圓嘅佢又得，你四方嘅又得， 你多嘅我同你減咗佢，你少嘅我同你補充佢，所以田七係個非常好嘅4大國藥之一啊。
Henry, can you interpret?
I forgot.
Okay. So basically, a question's asked about how can we make tin chat as an ingredient for our Chinese herbal soup, and basically you can use like 4 grams a day, and you can put the sliced tin chat into your soup, or you can eat it as a powder form, and you can eat 4 grams a day and night. And it is a really good herb, as it will help you to, if you have excessive toxic, it will help you to put it down. If you have less nutrition in your body, and it will boost up your nutrition, your energy in your body. So it's a dual, it serves dual functions. OK， 另一個問題咧就係想問，如果用玉屏風散嘅比例係咪1比1比1啊？
係基本上嗰3樣嘢係1比1比1，冇錯。
Okay, so the 3 elements in 玉屏風散, this recipe is 1 to 1 to 1. The 3 elements are 北芪、白术跟防風。
係。
Okay, and then how much of the dosage if use 玉屏風散 for prevention?
咁樣如果係你就將呢個3樣嘢打成粉咧，咁一日咧就要，如果做咗個玉屏風一個粉劑咁嚟講啊，你就咁粉碎成粉嘅話咧，咁一日咧起碼要成20克。咁但係依家在市面上所出嘅嗰啲玉屏風成藥咧，佢就唔係用粉，就唔係用生藥打成粉噶啦，佢係一種濃縮劑啊。有依家用濃縮粉咧，就係用幾多倍嘅啊，咁就唔好咁多。如果你就係用嗰啲生嘅打成粉咧，就要用20克以上。
So if you are making this recipe 玉屏風散, and you powder it, you need at least 20 grams of the powder to serve the effectiveness. Okay, any other questions? You can unmute yourself and ask directly to Dr. Zhong.
歡迎提問。
大家有問題可以直接 unmute 自己問。
Hello， 鍾醫生啊，我想請問你講嗰啲靈芝咧，我以前好耐有嗰啲靈芝嗰啲片咧，喺大陸人哋俾我嘅，好耐啦，可唔可以煲湯得唔得㗎？有冇效啊？
可以，你就咁吞又得啊，你放落湯度煲就得。
唔係啊，佢煲咩好啊？如果咁樣，
咁冇咩所謂，田七有少少嘅金。
唔係田七嚟㗎，係靈芝啊，靈芝啊。
哦，靈芝，佢做成片劑定膠囊劑？
一片一片嘅切好晒㗎。
哦，生嘅靈芝係嘛？咁就煲咯，
都有效㗎係嘛？
有效。
但係你又話破壁比較好啲啊嘛，嗰啲都 OK 啊？
破壁咧，佢入邊所含嘅量咧，比一般我哋一嚿嚿嗰啲靈芝咧，嗰啲含量濃，個有效成分濃，係含量高好多嘅。所以依家好少人用呢個一嚿嚿嗰啲靈芝，一嚿嚿嗰啲靈芝你攞嚟煲咧，就幾難煲㗎，要煲成幾個鐘頭佢都未腍㗎。
唔係，佢已經切好晒一片一片。係有啲大廠就將佢切成片。係學者靈芝啊，嗰啲叫做學者靈芝。
嗰啲好容易煲啲，嗰啲係煲得1個鐘頭都得㗎啦。
哦 ，OK， 都有效嗬。有
效。
你個問題係咪話因為擺得耐啊？
都幾耐㗎啦，唔怕㗎嚇，
唔會失衡。但係靈芝咧就啲味道咧就唔係幾好，黑靈芝咧就冇算可以，嗰啲赤靈芝咧就好苦下嘅。
係啊，佢好似係唔係黑色㗎？哦，
赤地色啊，赤地色比較苦啲。
哦，咁煲咩嘢好啊？
咁啊，加啲肉類咯，加啲肉類嗰啲味道好啲，而且肉類咧可以幫助我哋藥物吸收嘅。
仲要唔要俾啲咩藥材咁煲埋？
唔使加咩藥材啦，你就係比較豬肉啊、雞肉落去煲，咁嗰啲味道就好啲，而且吸收亦都好啲。
So the question is, I have stored up quite a bit of 靈芝, and they are stored for a long time. Is it okay to make soup with it? Dr. Jones said it is okay. And then what are the good ingredients to go with 靈芝? Basically, you don't need to mix it with other herbs. Just meat, a piece of meat with 靈芝 is sufficient.
Okay, thank you.
Hello，
我想問下，
我想問下，
我想問下你呢個玉屏風散，你話黃芪白術防風係1:1:1，咁如果按照咁係咪大概係37:21咁7克黃芪7克白術7克防風咁打成粉嚟用啊？係咪咁嘅意思啊？
你打成粉就咁食咯，係啦。
我就咁食啊？
係啊，就咁吞。
沖水㗎，哦。
就咁沖水啦。但係好多咧，依家都用嗰啲濃縮粉㗎啦。濃縮粉咧，譬如講台灣好中意用濃縮粉，佢可以有濃縮1:5嘅。譬如佢食1克嘅濃縮粉咧，佢就相當於5克嘅生藥，有啲10倍添。係，咁嗰啲咧就唔使食咁多粉咯。你如果生嘅粉，你7克加埋20克粉，都幾個量都幾多下。
哦，
可以，
係咪一日食1次，或係點樣食啊？即係個。
一日食2至3次㗎，2至3次㗎。
哦，食幾耐啊？食幾多呢個 week 啊？
咁樣，梗係睇你嘅身體。如果係你嘅身體真係你喺呢方面防病嘅能力好差嘅話，我哋以前要食成2、3個月。
哦。
即係有啲成日感冒嘅人，佢真係要食2、3個月。
唔該嚇，唔該醫師。
So the question is hold on. How long should I take the 玉屏風散? So if your body is weak, 2 to 3 months will be recommended. OK， 問啦。
寒底可唔可以食花旗參咧？
張張，我想問下咧，我大陸嗰啲親戚將我食嗰隻蓮花清瘟膠囊，咁我有啲感冒，咁係咪長期食嗎？係呢個可以預防嗰個冠狀病毒啊？
嗱，呢個蓮花清瘟膠囊咧係一個好受爭議嘅一個藥物，甚至喺佢學術界上面有啲人就吹到佢好叻啊，但係有啲人咧對佢評價好差，佢話係冠狀病毒防疫工作嘅一個大禍害。呢點我唔妄加評論啦，國家俾佢好大嘅聲譽出翻去援助歐洲邊個國家，但係依家有啲國家都唔準佢入口，美國都唔準佢入口，點解咧？我睇佢藥方裏邊有咩啊？有一個石膏石膏係咩東西咧？石膏係一個大寒之物，喺我哋中醫嘅治療裏邊咧，係嗰啲高燒嘅病人，我哋用石膏，佢哋有一個叫做白虎湯啊嘛，白虎湯裏面嘅主要成分就石膏，係大寒之物。如果唔係一個咁適應嘅身體嚟食佢咧，就唔啱嘅。所以我唔知點解個清瘟膠囊裏面用石膏，所以呢點我都好有爭議喺度。咁所以石膏呢個清瘟膠囊唔係最理想嘅治療同埋防治呢個冠狀動脈嘅藥物。所以美國依家唔俾佢入口嘅，唔俾佢入口。
我因為前排做感冒10日咯，都有啲懷疑係咪冠狀病毒，咁我就去茶樓攤嗰度買咗幾下，食咗3下就嗰啲感冒就少咗好多。大陸嗰啲親戚就話我長期食，所以我有請教你係專家。
千祈唔好長期食添啊！千祈唔好令佢長期，佢冇呢個作用嘅，冇呢個作用嘅。所以咧，以前風行好多種啦，有咩雙黃片啊，乜啊，呢啲通通都冇臨床一個好好嘅驗證喺度。反而咧，我依家咧我自己有我哋自己組織嘅藥方。係叫抗冠狀病毒茶，係喺我哋過去抗呢個沙士嘅時候，我哋用得都幾好，所以我哋唔錯嘅。我哋自己立去投資剛剛喺玉屏風散嘅基礎上面加減，呢個比較實在一啲，可以煲，亦都可以唔煲，我哋可以做成膠囊俾大家食，係呢個仲係相當有效嘅。所以蓮花清瘟片我係唔推薦。
OK， 但係玉屏風散就可以長期食嘅，可以食到3個月。係啊，
可以長期，你即使係唔係成日感冒嘅人都可以食佢有一個抵抗病毒嘅作用。
OK， 我哋可唔可以問最後一個問題啊？因為仲有4分鐘。係，下一個。
我想問隻花旗參係咪寒底可唔可以食啊？
花旗參佢唔係屬寒唔寒嘅問題，佢係補陰。嗱，我同大家解釋一個名詞嚇，好多中國人就成日講係咪寒啊，係咪熱啊？嗱，如果嗰樣嘢係食咗你屙爛稀爛嘅大便嘅， 呢樣嘢就對你係寒啦。所以有啲人對食物好敏感㗎，食兩嚿芥菜佢屙爛屎咯喎，食兩嚿白菜佢屙爛屎咯喎。但你煲老芥菜、煲老白菜佢又唔屙爛，所以呢種寒熱咧對每個人嘅敏感度唔一樣。但係判斷嘅標準就話食咗呢樣嘢，如果你係屙爛大便嘅，就對你就寒啦，咁你就要注意下啦。如果食咗呢樣嘢你便秘嘅咧，呢樣嘢對你就係熱啦，呢點你就要自己注意下，調整一下個食物啦。所以你花旗參佢唔係屬寒熱嘅問題，佢補陰啦嘛。陰係我哋常不足，咪陰常不足，大家都不足㗎。所以中國人好叻㗎，所有補陰食物都係好㗎。鮑參、刺肚全部滋陰補腎，個個都啱。因為我哋個個陰都不足，所以你睇中醫話，哇你陰虛喎，你唔使驚嚇，連個醫生自己都虛㗎。
陰係同寒，陰同寒係唔同啦，陰同寒冇撈亂咗，唔係一樣嘢。
唔係撈亂，唔係同一個概念。
Let me translate this. This is important. It's a good question. If someone has a body like a cold body, this is really a Chinese term. Should I take American ginseng? So Dr. Jones said it's not about ginseng is not treating coldness or hotness in your body. It's really a medicine, herbs that replenish our yin. And then everybody actually needs to replenish our yin. So if you take American ginseng and then you go to toilet and then it's liquidy, then you should pay attention. But then if you think when you take the ginseng and you constipate, then you're hot, right? So if you go to number 2 and it's liquidy, then you are cold. So you just need to pay attention about how much of the American ginseng you should take. But it is actually not for your body being cold or hot. It's really helping us to replenish our yin.
我想請問啊，鍾醫師啊，我有啲田七粉咧擠咗比較長嘅時間，可唔可以再用？繼續用？
嗱，佢嗰啲田七粉咧冇乜過期嘅，只要唔發毛唔發毛就得噶啦，冇事嘅。咁樣
佢啲氣味會唔會差啲咧？
唔會，你如果係用密封嘅玻璃罐裝住就唔會嘅，佢唔係一種揮發性嘅東西，冇事。
好啦，呢個咧係最後一個問題啦，唔好意思，今日因為鐘醫生咧4點鐘佢之後要走啦，咁如果大家咧仲想個別私人嚟到去揾佢睇嘅時候咧，我剛才喺嗰個 group 嗰度都打咗個地址電話，咁你就可以自行嚟到聯絡佢，咁就同我哋今日聚會係無關嘅。And yeah, once again, thank you very much for all of your participation and questions. It's all good questions. And thank you, Dr. Zhong, for the sharing. And also thank you, Henry, for a very lively interpretation. And if you have further questions or even you want to have consultation, you can, on your own, get consultation from Dr. Zhong. I also sent out his address and phone number for your further checking and talking as well. So yeah, so thank you for coming today, and our recording will be uploaded into our website. 我哋今日嘅錄影咧都會放咗喺網站嘅，咁方便大家如果想睇返嘅時候，或者你其他朋友去睇咧，都係可以嘅。咁我哋今日聚會就嚟到呢處，多謝大家。好，希望將來有機會再見啦，拜拜。
好，拜拜。
多謝。
呢個網站係邊個網站？啱啱個網址咧就打咗去個 chat room， 大家可以上翻。喺邊度嚟啊？我睇唔到嘅。未出到。你可以寫低啊，係 SFCAC.org。
可唔可以打出嚟啊？
打咗出嚟㗎啦，喺 chat room。
我啱啱又再打咗出個chat room 嗰個傾談室嗰度，你見唔見到咧？
快得就趕唔到寫啊！
唔緊要。
SFCAC.org。
如果你係認識你今日嚟咧，係認識我哋三藩市華人宣道會嘅朋友弟兄姊妹介紹你咧，如果你剛才寫唔到任何資料，你都可以問翻佢嘅。佢可以。
你三藩市華人宣道會喺邊度啊？係咪喺喬利街度㗎？
我哋喺惠山。
我哋喺惠山提甲22、23 Avenue 嗰度。
惠山提甲22、23。
喺嗰間餐館對面。
邊間餐館啊？
又要幫佢賣廣告喺怡園啊，喺怡園對面啊，怡園對。
因為唔係住喺三藩市，所以唔知道呢地方。
唔緊要，我哋暫時咧都冇實體嘅聚會㗎，因為呢個嘅冠狀肺炎。咁但係我哋網上有不同嘅聚會嘅，包括主日學星期日朝頭早嘅崇拜啦，同埋其他一啲好似今日而家嘅講座。
你華人宣道會係嘛？
係啊，三藩市華人宣道會。
咁係咪上你呢個會站嗰個網站就可以睇到你哋做崇拜、做團契？
係啦，冇錯冇錯。我哋崇拜咧就係廣東話就係早11:3個字到12點半嘅，每個星期日11:3、11:15到12點半嗰個時間嘅。你可以去我哋嘅網站啦。如果唔係咧，你去我哋通常就放咗喺 YouTube 啊，你可以 YouTube 揾三藩市華人宣道會，或者英文叫做 SFCAC 啊，咁就揾到我哋噶啦。
OK。
咁你係咪每個禮拜都有講啊？我見到上個禮拜你哋有講係話關於影相，咁下個禮拜係咪繼續都有啊？
我哋因為咧，我哋大部分時間星期日晏晝呢段時間咧，係2點半到4點左右咧就有呢啲咁嘅講座，但係未必個個禮拜都有嘅。好似下個星期咧，我哋就有另一個嘅聚會，係比較即係適合我哋自己教會，即係適合基督徒啦咁嚟到參加。因
為我係沙龍教會嘅，咁唔知同埋你哋一唔一樣嘅咧？
沙龍教會，你哋喺邊一處㗎？沙龍教會？
阿平街夾18街。
阿平，我哋就係宣道會啦，即係嚟到都係福音派，我哋統稱，即係話信耶穌就係為我哋嘅罪死同埋復活，耶穌係我哋唯一嘅拯救。
你哋講得好好啊！
我想
多謝晒啊，多謝晒。
係唔好客氣，咁希望
嘅，thank you，
隨時都歡迎你哋嚟到參加。另外。